Hi, everyone. It's Laura, the energy linguist, and I'm coming to you live again today because there is a message that your guides are really wanting you to hear right now at this point in your life. So if you have aligned with me in this moment, know that this message is for you. And I always invite you to never trust me, meaning I know with the deepest conviction that when you hear truth that is resonant with your own soul, you know it in your core. So I never tell my clients to trust me because I always first and foremost want you to trust you. And so when you hear these messages, whether it's this particular one or any of the other ones that I've channeled, please go within your own unique experience, within your place of being anchored in your own soul, to listen to what your higher self is telling you about these messages. What I do know as the energy linguist is that I have a gift of being able to see the vibration beneath our stories. I'm able to see and hear the vibration beneath our words. A lot of times, especially when, right, they're out of sync or out of integrity. And so when I am channeling these messages, I also am very aware that every single time we use a word to try to capture an idea or capture a vibration, something that is really divinely expansive, we end up putting it into a box. And the box for us is always going to be a little different. What I mean by that is that your connotation of a certain word and what it means to you may be very different than my own. And that's why it's really important to understand that there's a vibration to the messages. And I'm inviting you into hearing that vibration for yourself as it pertains to your own unique path, especially today. Because today, what we are talking about here is this threshold that you've arrived at in your life. A threshold, as we're spiritually speaking about it, is it's an opportunity for us to reach a certain point and then kind of begin anew. I see the word they're channeling renew, right? To step into this newness of ourselves. They're saying the word renew right now because we're not changing the core of you. In fact, what we're releasing or removing, if anything, is this idea of you that was never you to begin with. It's the understanding that we have grown up in an experience that we have concluded we are a certain way based on the feedback we were receiving from others. And now your guides, your angels are literally, I feel them holding your hand, walking you up to this threshold and inviting you in to seeing yourself in this whole new way of being. Before we jumped on this in particular message here, I tuned into the energetic frequencies for all of you who have aligned with this message today to inquire with our higher guidance around what is it that is maybe preventing us from moving forward into this next phase of our lives, as well as what energies can we tune into that and lean into, engage with, that allows us to break through to this next level. So you'll see me looking at my notes here. The energy behind this concept of threshold, which I want to take a brief minute to talk to you guys about, is this magnitude and this intensity that kind of builds up in order for us to launch from a place we've been to a new place that we haven't been yet. And what our guides are saying is that this point in time for you is this opportunity to take you to this place that you have yet to experience. A lot of the messages that are coming through for you around this is first and foremost inviting you into having a willingness to become a part of this movement. So I'm hearing movement, and they mean that metaphorically, they also mean that literally for you. So what does that mean? It means action on your part in some way. Being willing to join the dance, being willing to join the vision that you have, and interact with it in a way that treats it with the sacred energy that embodies it. What do they mean when they say this? We're talking about this vision that you're holding in your heart. It actually is of spiritual divinity. It's divine guidance. It's something that is within you that you're seeking to experience and see come into fruition within this lifetime. And what I'm hearing from our guides saying is that you have yet to treat it sacred in the sense of treating it like it's real, nurturing it as if it's a real possibility in your life. So I want you to inquire within yourself as you're hearing this message, where in your life is this unacknowledged dream to experience something different, to be with someone different, to be in a different place, to be contributing of yourself differently. There's all these different layers we can experience it through. So relationships, contribution, within our own experience of ourselves, within the material world and the abundance we're experiencing in our lives. If you're seeing it from a material standpoint, or even a relational standpoint, your guides are inviting you to dig a little deeper under those layers to see the core of why you would want those things. What is it that you actually want to embody and experience? And they're asking this of you because in order for you to get to a place where you're at this threshold and you move beyond it, it requires the integration and the embodiment of what they're saying is the truths you have experienced up until this point. What it means in a different context is deriving the wisdom from the things you've experienced, while also being able to really integrate them into your knowing, your invaluable nature of who you are. Many, many times on our path, we will have an experience that undermines our value because of the way that we are concluding about ourselves on account of it, whether it's because of the feedback we've gotten outside of ourselves or whether internally, right, we are just that inner judge who is tearing ourselves down with regret and guilt and all of these denser frequencies that not only disconnect us from this highest potential of living in the light that we want to live in, it also undermines our very vitality, our physical wellness, our health. It brings our heart and our brain out of synchronization. And so there's this lack of coherence that starts to get created when we are in these denser vibrations. And so in order for you to get to this threshold that's inviting you forth into this new experience, the key for you here is to really start to look within this heart space of unconditional self-love first and foremost. Our guides are inviting us into filling ourselves with this knowing that the things that we are dreaming of, we do deserve. And what's really beautiful about this is that we all don't dream of experiencing the same things. If we're being really, really honest with ourselves, there's this differentness, this creativity that exists within us that we really want to like anchor into and ignite and experience and just allow to blossom. And so many times, the reason that we end up in our paths and feeling unfulfilled is that we are chasing dreams that everybody else, right? Society, the way that we grew up seeing the world, the way the world has taught us to seek fulfillment and satisfaction. Or what they're saying right now is, or seeking safety and security, right? So we kind of follow this path to, if I'm secure, if I'm safe, if I'm wealthy, I'll feel fulfilled. And then often we get to the end of this road and we're not feeling fulfilled. We're still running from seeing ourselves. Because under the surface, somehow, for some reason, we feel like we are just insignificant. That's the biggest lie. That's the biggest deceiver. It's the biggest deceiver you're going to run into in this moment in time when you're being invited to move beyond the old and step into the new. Right now, I want you to have this depth of understanding before I talk about what will support you in this. You cannot avoid the threshold, meaning you don't get to the next phase before meeting a certain threshold. For those of you who may have seen my live on Instagram at the.energy.linguist, what you may have already heard me talk about is what does this threshold look like in experience. So let me share something really fast with you. I have clients that I've worked with for many years and deep energy work within their system, literally changing the trajectory of all the things in their lives, releasing the suffering and the pain and the abuse and all the stories, and just rising to these unimaginable levels that, quite frankly, they probably never thought were possible from standing at that first point. What I came to experience within their commitment to continue to work through and evolve themselves and raise their own frequency was that after a certain point in time, after they'd gone through this refinement process within their own experience and integrated it into who they are and acted in accordance with the wisdom that they were experiencing and hearing from their guides, suddenly there was this whole new opening that got revealed. Things that I'd never seen in their system for 4, 5, 6 years suddenly unveiled itself as this new opportunity, as this new path. And it was delightful in that experience for myself and my clients, because it was like, wow, I never saw this. So then the question becomes, why? If we're seeing the highest path available, if my gift is to see the highest potential for somebody, why is it that I didn't see this highest potential? And in part, it's because what I'm seeing is the highest path. I'm actually seeing the actionable things that are next for you so that you can get to this next spot that opens up the other doorway. The message your guides are really wanting you to hear is that there are certain things that you do need to go through. And not just like go through as in suffer through, but become curious about, explore, derive wisdom in order for you to get to a threshold where then they reveal what's next for you. And so this moment in time isn't just about crossing a threshold and a new beginning. It's about a revealing that they have for you, to reveal what is actually next and what's possible for you, which is so exciting. And so these are the keys for you in order to embrace stepping up with confidence and courage to this threshold and stepping beyond it. Number one, the energies we want to work with here are speaking from this soul aligned place. That's why the unconditional self-love is so necessary, is because what we want to do is be in integrity with this heart center of understanding that our unique soul, our unique vision, our desires are very different, and to honor the differentness that they are. In fact, in my Consciousness Recoded program, we go deep into this, into kind of like peeling back the layers of the onion and recoding our very consciousness so that we can see the soul self that exists within us. And then suddenly that path becomes easier because we're not confused about who we are or what we want or what our unique calling is. We become super clear on the differentness that we are, and not just clear about it, but in love with it so that it can just naturally shine. So the key is to be in this love. And when you're feeling love for experiencing something new, whether it's a new job, a new relationship, it could be labeled that way, like to capture, like, what is it I really seek? Because typically what they're saying is if you're seeking something new, it's because you're seeking to be out of a denser vibrational experience. Maybe one that you're not being appreciated in. Maybe one where you're just self-sacrificing. Maybe it's one where you just know your impact isn't having as big of an impact as it could, and you're really looking to make a difference. Whatever that reason is that you want to leave that denser place, it's feeling into the love that you have for what's next, and then speaking to that. Because one of the biggest messages here is that actionable part, right? That we have to be willing to step into this dance, is what they said, right? That action. And the action is within your choice. It's an interesting visual they give me about this because I'm actually seeing, it's almost like infant in energy, not as like an actual child, but if you can imagine the kind of care and love and nurturing that an infant requires to grow, they want you to treat this dream, this next phase of what your soul is calling in, with this nurturing energy of seeing it, of acknowledging it, of seeing the differentness, holding it sacred, really seeing its beauty and meeting your dream with the support that it requires. And typically, the biggest piece of support you can give what's next is the acknowledgement. It's the trust in it. It's the belief that it will be successful and it will be thriving and you will be in it and you'll be in the embodiment of it. Because what's next for you is actually requires and is rooted in your unique creativity. I want you to ask yourself, what vision do you have that is being inspired by something that's maybe feels like it's beyond you, that you can't let go, that you just keep seeing? There's this creativity within you that when you choose to believe in what's possible for you, when you choose to lean into this vision, to consider it, to get creative around it, you actually start to birth it into being. And that is really the energy that divinity is asking you to embrace in order to be ready for the reveal. And so let me recap all of this messages real fast. They say speak to it. The vision in your heart. That is what they want you to speak to. They want you to speak in order to create it. What they say this threshold is for you is you're being attuned into stepping into your own anchor of your vibration, of being anchored in a world that feels chaotic. And the way that I notated it was this fertile ground within yourself. It feels like safety and security and abundance, just like this fullness, almost where it feels like this bubble around you, feeling really safe and solid, like warding off all of the energetic chaos around you. There is a creator within you, a co-creator within you, that when you trust that what you want is being divinely inspired, and you trust in God and divinity, that there's a reason you're being shown it. And you step into that creation with divinity by speaking to it, loving it, getting creative around it, being willing to contribute those energies and the focus to what's next. It will start to blossom in a very rapid rate. What is next for you if you're willing to get into this dance and take the action to nurture the dream that you have? They said that is the ability to see that which others cannot detect. And in part, in order for you to have that gift to see, you have to have the trust and the faith first. And so right now, it's almost like you're attempting to see this invisible life within you that's supposed to be brought into actual manifestation in the waking world, in the material world. And that requires the conviction and the trust in something that is unseen right now. And within your ability to trust and see the unseen, your energy will be anchored, your protection will be anchored, your abundance will be anchored, and you'll anchor within you this connection, right? So when we think of like anchoring in the safety, in the root, and feeling stable in this world, we're also talking about anchoring so we can like rise up into reaching and touching this kind of cosmic energy, this divine, a collective, this whole that we're a part of. And when you anchor while still reaching to touch divinity and co-create with divinity, what you're going to recognize is that you have this beautiful ability to see, much like myself, in your own unique way, to see what others cannot see. And so part of what's happening here, in short, to summarize all of this, is that they're asking you to pull off the story, to pull off the narrative, the storyline of what you think has you limited, and to challenge yourself to get creative, to rise above, to fill it with love, to fill with trust, so that this can be a moment in time where you are literally launching yourself from this chronic old experience into this higher vibrational way of existing, where you're actually in fulfillment, in vitality, in peace, in joy. Your time is now. If any of you want any further support, please comment below. Tell me about your experience. Tell me about your questions. If Divinity and our guides want to speak, they will. I would be happy to respond with any insight that I receive. And I'm just sending you so much love as you step up to this threshold with courage. I'll see you guys again soon. Blessings.